Hello, it's Dr. Scott and Lena, two of the co-founders of Wishwell Village. We actually planned to sit down and properly welcome you to this video, but it's winter in Toronto. There are 5 people in this condo as we speak, and after wholeheartedly devoting the last years of our lives to building Wishwell, we are a little tired. So, instead of staging the perfect camera moment, we thought we'd just simply begin. The story starts long before the app.
It begins with a question I asked over 8 years ago. How could technology help people feel closer to one another? Since then, we've poured our hearts into exploring that question, meeting people and communities from all around the world. And what we discovered gave us hope. Because the one thing technology constantly captures from us might actually be the very thing that brings us back together. Every day, billions of people open their phones and witness the suffering of the world. War, disaster, crisis, we watch it all unfold, but we have no meaningful way to help. And the feeds and platforms we're using were never built to. They were built to keep us watching. Because fear spreads faster than hope. Outrage travels farther than compassion, and the algorithm rewards whatever keeps us scrolling. So we consume more and more global trauma with no outlet for action. Our nervous systems remain locked in a constant state of fight or flight. Psychologists call this learned helplessness, the feeling that the world is broken and nothing we do matters. It is the great paradox of our time. We are the most connected generation in human history, yet we report the highest levels of loneliness. We consume social media that, at its core, is antisocial. It has turned us from neighbors into spectators. And underneath it all is a system engineered like a dopamine slot machine. When the scrolling stops, the brain doesn't return to balance. It drops into deficit. Over time, this cycle leaves millions of people exhausted, anxious, and neurologically depleted. We built a digital world our nervous systems can barely keep up with. But human beings are wired for something very different. Giving is written into our biology. When we help another person, the body responds immediately. We feel happier, healthier, and more connected. Acts of kindness literally regulate the nervous system. But what's even more remarkable is that this healing is shared. It benefits the giver, the receiver, and even the person who simply witnesses it. So if giving is how we thrive, why has the modern world made it so hard to do? It's because philanthropy has been built on 2 barriers, money and time, which means billions of people who want to help are left standing on the sidelines. The instinct to give is universal, but the system to participate is not. At Wishwell, we believe philanthropy should be defined not by how much you have, but by your intention to give. Because in an attention economy, there is one resource more valuable than money: presence. It is the very thing our digital world constantly extracts from us. So choosing to give it intentionally becomes a radical act of sovereignty. The question wasn't whether people care. The real challenge was creating a way for everyone to participate. So we built something new. A 60-second guided visualization where a person focuses completely on the well-being of another. A simple gift of presence. And when thousands of people offer that presence together, we aggregate it into something extraordinary. A new kind of giving built from human attention. By making giving take just 1 minute, it returns to all of us. No matter who you are, or no matter where you live. What once felt out of reach for so many is now something we can all practice daily. The medicine of giving, a force that elevates, strengthens, and restores. And it may just be our antidote. When generosity begins to spread outward, when enough of us show up for someone in need, it restores confidence in the goodness of the whole. A belief we desperately need to reclaim in today's fragmented world. And all it might take is reimagining how we use our phones. Turning the very technology that divides us into a tool that brings us back together. From spectators of the world's suffering to participants in its healing. But if something like this were possible, it couldn't remain just a thought. It had to be built and tested in the real world. Over the last 8 years, we've been in deep research and development. Not just building technology, but studying human behavior and the science of giving, presence, and human connection. We built 2 earlier generations of Wishwell and used them as living laboratories. We carefully observed how people responded to digital empathy, where they showed up, where they hesitated, and what stopped them from participating. One insight stood out immediately. A single minute of presence felt meaningful. It's short enough to fit into daily life, yet powerful enough to feel real. But something else became clear during those early trials. Shared attention actually worked. Not just as a theory, but as something people could actually experience. Which got us thinking about what might be possible. What happens when human attention comes together? We call this crowd focus. Just as crowdfunding aggregates small amounts of money to fund a project, crowd focus aggregates small moments of human attention. I often describe it like a magnifying glass. Scattered sunlight is weak, but focused sunlight, well, it can start a fire. Crowd focus takes the scattered attention of the many and focuses it onto a single wish, turning a moment of presence into a currency for change. What began as a simple question has grown into something much bigger. A new way to organize human attention for good.
Upon opening Wishwell, you arrive at the Wish Wheel, a simple way to choose where to gift your attention. You might give to someone close to home through local wishes or notice someone who hasn't received much support. Another way to give is through gratitude, offering a moment of presence to someone who has made a difference in your life. Once you choose who to give it to, you enter the heart of the experience, the 60-second guided visualization designed to focus your attention and anchor your heart. And now, we're going to try it together.
Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. there's a big rainbow above you with colors that make you smile. You feel loved. You are loved. See the wish. Hold it close to your heart like your favorite stuffy. Have a beautiful day full of giggles and hugs. The world is lucky to have you.
Presents gifted. After each session, you can leave a personal note. Over time, those messages gather in a shared space we call the well, a place where encouragement, updates, and gratitude begin to grow. We track our steps, our calories, our sleep. So we asked a simple question. What if we tracked our good? What would happen if we opened our phones and saw generosity? On the home screen, you can see how much presence has been shared around the world and how much you've contributed. Open your profile and you'll see your own kindness metrics along with a living feed of gratitude. We've encoded all of this giving data into something we call the Impact Map. What was once invisible becomes something we can finally see. You can zoom into countries, regions, or even your hometown. The map displays the kindest cities, the most grateful, the places receiving the most love. And something remarkable happens when we witness generosity. Science shows that seeing acts of kindness increases oxytocin and inspires others to participate. So, by making the good visible, we don't just celebrate it, we multiply it. And now, we can watch as kindness ripples into our communities. On Wishwell, we call those communities villages. Starting a village is easy. A family can start one, a studio, a school, a workplace, any group of people who you care about. Share a link or a QR code and your community can join instantly. Because humans were never meant to do this alone. We thrive in community. When generosity is practiced together, there's a shift. People feel seen, belonging deepens, well-being rises for everyone involved. And for organizations and leaders, Wishwell becomes more than just an app. It becomes a shared ritual of support. A simple way for communities to practice something we may have forgotten along the way. Genuine human connection and care. Okay, plot twist. Wishwell didn't begin as an app. It began with a gift. This is 01, our local currency for giving. A simple, temporary tattoo shared from one person to another. Together, they pause. No phones, no distractions, just a small gift of presence. The response to this giving ritual has been extraordinary. Since 2017, more than 280,000 tattoos have been gifted worldwide, traveling across 6 continents, from small person-to-person moments to retreats, dances, and gatherings, appearing at international festivals and major stages including Tony Robbins and Dave Asprey. But perhaps the most powerful sign of all, 51 people have permanently tattooed the symbol on their bodies. In many ways, 01 is the analog that inspired the digital, and now we have a way to scale that same gift of presence. In the newest version, the ritual now connects directly into the app. Each tattoo carries a QR code, and when scanned, that in-person moment becomes a digital doorway into Wishwell. Yes, that's a real word, look it up. What began as a simple symbol shared between 2 people helped spark the village we're now ready to share with you.
8 years ago, we asked a simple question. Could technology actually help bring us closer together? This is what we learned along the way. It's what we focus on that shapes our world. Oh, and giving feels really good. And when we give our attention to a fellow human, our biology responds. It doesn't just benefit the person receiving it, it changes the one giving. It calms the nervous system. It restores hope. And reminds us we are wired for togetherness. When generosity spreads through communities, the entire system begins to change. Technology no longer has to pull attention away from life. It can bring attention back to what matters. And that is the future Wishwell was built for. The technology is here. The foundation is in place. Now it's up to the ones who believe a better way is possible. Because something like this was never meant to be built alone. They say it takes a village to build a village. And maybe the world we've been waiting for starts with what we choose to do next.